I'm going to be reading this evening from John chapter 10, verses 14 to 17. It's actually a text we read this morning when we were opening up the passage in Luke. John, parts of it we did. John 10, 14 to 16. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. Therefore my Father loves me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it again. Well, this evening we're returning to the series of messages on the subject of the cross that we've been doing for a long time in the evening. This is the 20th message in this series, and tonight will be the last one. It really will be the last one. I should say God willing, but the plan is for it to be the last one. And in a sense, in this study, we've saved the most controversial aspect of our understanding of the cross and understanding what Christ has done for us to the end of this series. After opening up the biblical context of the cross earlier in the series, and then the substitutionary and penal nature of what Christ endured on the cross, and then we looked at the achievements of the cross in accomplishing redemption, propitiation, reconciliation, and victory over Satan. There was this one last loose end to tie up before we conclude the series, and it has to do with the question, for whom did Christ die? For whom did He act as a substitute? For whom did He endure and exhaust the penalty of the justice and penalty of the law on their behalf, and accomplish their redemption, and propitiate the wrath of God that was toward them, and reconcile them to God, and deliver them from the power of Satan? For whom did Christ do this? For whom did Christ die? And that's been the focus of the last three messages, and that will be the focus again in this last message this evening. And let me just say that if you're visiting with us, I'm a little self-conscious about the fact that this is not ordinary way that what you would hear here. Normally we're working our way through a book of the Bible or opening up a particular passage of a book of the Bible as part of a series of sermons. And this is more of a theological, I'd almost call it a theological lecture in some ways, as we finish up this series and deal with this subject that can sometimes be confusing and difficult for people. I remind you that there are basically two ways in which Christ's death has been interpreted among evangelical Christians. First, there are those who believe in what is called a general atonement. And this is the idea that Jesus died equally and in the same way for everyone, so that the atonement itself did not actually secure the salvation of anyone. It simply made salvation possible for everyone. In other words, Jesus died with the purpose of saving everyone, but not everyone is saved by His death. But then there is a second historical view of the atonement, sometimes referred to as the Reformed view. It's the doctrine of a definite or particular atonement. Now, together with the other view, it denies that universalism. Both do that, deny that all men will ultimately be saved. Yet the doctrine of particular redemption affirms that Christ's death did effectually atone for the sins of and infallibly secure the salvation of all those for whom it was intended. It did not do that for everyone, but Christ's death effectually atoned for all the sins of a specific, definite